Hello, I'm Amber Youper, and this is another video about my Chinese mini lathe, the Central Machinery 7x10 mini lathe from Harbor Freight Tools. And I've had this thing for maybe a couple months, probably not that long, and I've been working on some stuff here. And today I want to talk about one of my projects that I'm working on. This is one of the projects that I'm working on. Let's see. Hopefully the camera will focus on that. This is a railroad wheel. And this is for outdoor railroad, large scale outdoor railroad. I'm making these for 4 3/4 inch gauge track for 2-inch scale. So they have to be a lot bigger than the standard 1-inch scale wheels. This one is, it's about, roughly about 3 3/4 inches on the tread and about 4 inches on the outside of the flange. And they're about a 1/2 inch thick. I have to stick with the 1-inch scale specifications for these wheels so that it'll ride on 4 3/4 inch gauge track without having problems with flange depth and width and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I got a couple of them made now. They're not perfect, but I'm new at this. So here's what I'm using. This is a 4-inch disc of aluminum. I bought these, oh God, I've had these for more than a year, probably a couple of years I bought these. No, I've had these for 5, 6 years? Yeah. I tried to do this kind of stuff on a bench drill and set it up so that I could have a half-assed lathe, and that just didn't work. So these have been kind of waiting ever since then. The hole that I drilled in them is slightly off center because I drilled it with my drill press and I didn't get it exactly right. So, but what I did was I made an arbor for the wheels that the wheel fits on. This lathe has a 3-inch chuck, and I can't get these 4-inch wheels on the chuck jaws for the these would be the inside jaws. The outside jaws clamp. You put it on there and they clamp from the outside. This chuck is not big enough to do that. I'd have to have a 5-inch chuck in order to clamp a 4-inch thing on the outside to smooth off the face. So anyway, so I did a couple of other things to smooth off this face. I basically attempted to smooth off most of it with the arbor. But let me show you my arbor and tell you how I did it. I took the spring off of my my chuck key because it was being a pain, and since I have the shield on here, I'm not going to be leaving the chuck key in the chuck, because this thing won't run without the shield down. You could take the shield off, but I kind of like having it there. So this is my arbor. Maybe you can see that. Let's see if I put it there. Yeah, you can see there. Okay. So what I did was I took a piece of 3/4 inch. I got this piece of 3/4 inch rod, and I cut off a piece of it and put it in the chuck and made this. Now this chuck, you can't put a piece of 3/4 inch rod into the chuck. You can put it in the jaws, but the hole through the middle of the chuck is not 3/4 of an inch. So I had to turn down this side, and let's see, I turned it down, I don't even know. I turned it down enough that it would go in. So what I have here is 6.645 of an inch. So somewhere close to 5/8, I suppose. So it goes in, now it goes in there, and I've got this shoulder on here. I left it as full dimension as I could here because I wanted to have a shoulder back here, the largest diameter I could for putting the wheel up against, so that the wheel would be steady on the arbor. And I turned this arbor down just a hair more than I should have, but it's really tricky to get it right. So it goes on there, and the problem is it's just a hair off. It's not bad enough to affect it much. It would be nice if it was tighter, but then it would be really hard to get on. And of course I had to thread it. I threaded it with a regular threading die, which is 3/8 16 national course. So basically I put the wheel on, and then I put a washer on, and I put this on, put the nut on, and I snug it up. And I do that while it's in the chuck. And that holds the wheel about as steady as I'm going to be able to hold it for cutting it. Now one thing I did, I marked, and let's see if you can see that here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully. There's these, I took a magic marker and marked this. That's where the number 1 jaw goes on the chuck, so that it goes in the same every time. So I have that alignment, so it doesn't change. These jaws are numbered. Of course, it's hard to find the number. I got the numbers on the sides of the on the face of the chuck with a magic marker, and I also had them numbered here, but that gets wiped off pretty easy. They're numbered, but they're numbered on the inside where you can't see it. So anyway, find the number 1 chuck, jaw, line that up. It's good to get it as close as you can. Tighten it up, and that's about as steady as it's going to get. Let's tighten it up a little more, just in case. Yeah, that's tight. The wheel on. Here's the washer, here's the nut. I have this this old-fashioned dual socket wrench, and I don't even think it gives the sizes on it, but I use this to tighten it up. I don't try to tighten it too much because it'll make the arbor move in the chuck jaws. So you can't quite get it tight enough to keep that from happening. So then that's in there. And then turn on the lathe. Check to see how much it wobbles. And the back doesn't wobble hardly at all. Let me run that in so you can really see a good view of it. There we go. Now, you probably can't see the wobble in it. There's just a very little. It's not really wobble. It's the difference in the thickness from the one side to the other. I have to face it off so that it's smooth on this side, and then I can start cutting the tread here. I have to cut it in. I don't have to cut it in that far. Let's see. Oh, you can see that really good now if I can get it in the camera. You see the flange there. And that flange has to be, here's my, let's back that up a bit. Here's my, my 4.75 gauge, 4 3/4 inch gauge, 1 inch scale wheels for 1 inch scale track. This is also good for 3.5 inch and 4 3/4 gauge track blade with 1-inch scale rail and frogs. Now this is IBLS wheel standards. Shows you all of the different measurements. And the flange depth on this is, or flange height actually, is .140, not less than. So you got to cut the tread down far enough that you've got at least 0.14 of an inch flange sticking up. So that's the start of a project. I've got 2 done. I need to do 8 for the car that I'm working on. And just to show you, this is a set of trucks that I've got, and here's the wheels for that. This is 1-inch scale wheels, and they have the same width and the same flange and everything, but they're only that big. And let's see, they're a little more than 3 inches in diameter on the flange, where these are basically 4-inch diameter on the flange. So they're quite a bit bigger. And in 2-inch scale, that works out to just about the 20-inch wheel. And that's what I'm working on, is 2-inch scale. I'm building a caboose that is based off of the Gilpin Tram number 400 and 401 cabooses with 20-inch wheels, and I'm building it in 2-inch scale because that's G.I. Joe and Barbie size. So I have people for the caboose. So there's my project. Well, thanks for watching.